Alright, that was the Judges chapter 1. Talks about the continuing conquest of Canaan, and it says this. After the death of Joshua, the people of Israel inquired of the Lord, who shall go up for us against the Canaanites to fight against them? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I have given the land into his hand. And Judah said to Simeon, his brother, come up with me into the territory allotted to me, that we may fight against the Canaanites, and I likewise will go with you into the territory allotted to you. So Simeon went with him. And then Judah went up, and the Lord gave the Canaanites and the Perizzites to their hand, and they defeated 10,000 of them at Bezek. They found Adon-Bezek at Bezek and fought against him and defeated the Canaanites and the Perizzites. Adon-Bezek fled, but they pursued him and caught him and cut off his thumbs and his big toes. And Adon-Bezek says, 70 kings with their thumbs and their big toes cut off used to pick up scraps under my table. As I have done, so God has repaid me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and he died there. And the men of Judah fought against Jerusalem and captured it and struck it with the edge of the sword and set the city on fire. And afterward the men of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites who lived in the hill country of the Negev, or southern Israel today, and in the lowland. And Judah went against the Canaanites who lived in the Hebron, or the west bank. Now the name of Hebron was formerly Kirith Arba, and they defeated Sheshai and Ahiman and Talmai. From there they went against the inhabitants of Debir, and the name of Debir was formerly Kirith Sepher. And Caleb said, he who attacks Kirith Sepher and captures it, I will give him Achish my daughter for a wife. And Othniel the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, captured it, and he gave him Achish his daughter for a wife. Wish that could happen now these days. You could just choose your wife, but anyway, a whole lot easier. But it says, when she came to him, she urged him to ask her father for her field, and she dismounted from her donkey. And Caleb said to her, what do you want? She said to him, give me a blessing, since you have set me in the land of the Negev. Give me also springs of water. And Caleb gave her the upper springs and lower springs. And the descendants of the Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up with the people. Turn the page. With the people of Judah from the city of the palms to the wilderness of Judah, which lies in the Negev near Arad, and they went and settled with the people. And Judah went with Simeon, his brother, and they defeated the Canaanites who inhabited Zephath and devoted it to destruction. So the name of the city was called Hormah. Judah also captured Gaza with its territory, so actually the Gaza Strip actually belongs to Israel as well. And Ashkelon with its territory, and Ekron with its territory. And the Lord was with Judah, and he took possession of the hill country, but he could not drive out the inhabitants of the plain because they had chariots of iron. And Hebron was given to Caleb, as Moses had said, and he drove out from it the three sons of Anak. But people of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites who lived in Jerusalem, so the Jebusites have lived with the people of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. So, man, I'm going to go back and read that real quick. It says, but people of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites who lived in Jerusalem. The Jebusites were also Canaanites. They're also demonic, satanic influence. So the Jebusites lived in people of Benjamin in Jerusalem to this day. So that to this day, I mean, that stuff's still going on. I mean, think about it, because it makes sense between the Palestinians and the Jews. They're always fighting each other, you know, in the West Bank and Jerusalem and Gaza. It's still going to this day. The house of Joseph also went up against Bethel. The Lord was with them. And the house of Joseph scattered out Bethel. Now the name of the city was formerly Luz. And the spies saw a man coming out of the city. And they said to him, please show us the way into the city, and we will deal kindly with you. And he showed them the way into the city, and they struck the city with the edge of the sword, but they let the man and all his family go. And the man went to the land of the Hittites and built a city and called its name Luz. That is its name to this day. Failure to complete the conquest. Manasseh did not drive out the inhabitants of Bethshean and its villages, or Tanakh in its villages, or the inhabitants of Dor in its villages, or the inhabitants of Iblam in its villages, or the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages. The Canaanites persisted and dwelling in that land. When Israel grew strong, they put the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not drive them out completely. And Ephraim did not drive out the Canaanites who lived in Gezer, so the Canaanites lived in Gezer among them. Zebulun did not drive out the inhabitants of Kitron, or the inhabitants of Nahalal, so the Canaanites lived among them, but became subject to forced labor. Asher did not drive out the inhabitants of Akko, or the inhabitants of Sidon, or of Alab, or of Akzib, or of Helbath, or of Aphik, or of Rehob. So the Asherites lived among the Canaanites and the inhabitants of the land, for they did not drive them out. Naphtali did not drive out the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh, or the inhabitants of Bethanah, so they lived among the Canaanites, the inhabitants of the land. Nevertheless, the inhabitants of Beth Shemesh and Beth Anav became the subject of forced labor before them. The Amorites pressed the people of Dan back to the hill country, for they did not allow them to come down to the plain. The Amorites persisted in dwelling in Mount Heres, and in Ajalon, and in Shalbim, for the hand of the house of Joseph rested heavily on them, and they became subject to forced labor. And the border of the Amorites ran from the extent of Acharab, from Selah and upward. So, chapter 1 is basically about the continuing conquest of Canaan. So Israel's continuing, because basically Israel is continuing taking over Canaan, but they end up failing to completely conquer Canaan, because they're still battling the Canaanites there. So let's be honest though. War has been going on in the Middle East, especially between the Jews and the Muslims there forever. Ever since the dawn of creation, they've been fighting over that land. So here you go, right here, here in the Old Testament, they're still fighting over it. But of course, the land does belong to the Jews, because God gave it to them. The Muslims don't like it, so that's why the Muslims are always attacking the Jews over there. So it's a constant battle over there. But anyway, that's Judges 1 about the continuing conquest of Canaan, failure to complete the conquest, and that's it. I'll be right with chapter 2 here in a minute.